YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Today we're going over the 10 biggest free agency signings. Not necessarily the best. Talking about the biggest impact signings, how they'll affect their team for the better, how they are game-changing for their new teams here. So we'll break it down. Got 10 big signings to talk about here and how it changes things for those teams. So we'll do more videos like this here now that we're towards the end of free agency. There's still some big-time free agents out there, so obviously things can change. We have you covered with live updates on our Twitter. We have all kinds of grades, full NFL draft coverage. We're kind of getting in that draft season here as we approach April. All that on the channel will be live day one of the NFL draft right here as well. So make sure you join us, like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Any important link you're looking for, you can find it down, pinned in the comments section there. We got 10 of these. Like I said, we got Juju SmithSchuster to the Chiefs, the first one. I almost didn't put this one on here because Tyreek Hill's gone. I was talking about when we graded this sign and gave it an A+, and I was talking about how massive this was, how it changes the Chiefs, how it's so impactful, how it's so game-changing, because teams were figuring out how to beat the Chiefs. They were dropping 8 players in coverage, obviously in the back end, and doubling Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and it was pretty much game over. No one else can get really can get open. They didn't have a dominant slot receiver, so you get Juju that takes some stress off of Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and then open things up for Juju, possibly opens things up for those players. But then they trade Tyreek, so it changes a little bit. But if you think about it, they finally have a big time true slot receiver, and now they have, they're probably going to have more receivers because they already do, because it was kind of Tyreek, take away Kelce because he was a tight end. It was kind of just Tyreek Hill carrying things for the wide receivers over there. I know Hardman's decent, obviously, but now you have Juju Smith-Schuster, you have Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and you're probably going to add another receiver on top of Hardman already as well. So can spread the ball out more, not so much focus on really the only good players out there, which could open things up for the Chiefs offense and maybe throw some defenses off, at least the secondary off here. So I think this is a big-time, game-changing, team-changing signing here for the Chiefs, adding a big-time slot receiver. And Juju Smith-Schuster is very talented. I think people forget, has had some injuries, but not the best passing attack there in Pittsburgh the last several years, really. So I'm excited to see him with Patrick Mahomes. This definitely could boost the Chiefs here for this year. Another one I want to talk about, another receiver, Allen Robinson to the Rams. It was a 3-year, $46.5 million deal. Again, the value of the deals don't really play a part on how big of signings these are. It's just, you look at the Rams, they won the Super Bowl last year. They had some talented receivers out there for Stafford to throw the ball to, but you get a totally different type of receiver out there. Now you get an outside receiver who actually has some reps in the slot as well, but where's Allen Robinson at his best? Contested catches, being physical with defensive backs, and the Rams just really didn't have that. They didn't really have that true contested catch outside receiver. So what that does, in my opinion, it changes things for defenses. There's more to worry about now. Could open things up for other guys. But I honestly, I think they can maybe limit, because if there was a negative of Matthew Stafford next year, if there was, he turned the ball over a bit, threw some interceptions. But I think a signing like this could actually cut that down. Now when you have to, last second under pressure, make that, a throw that's going to have to be a contested catch attempt, you got a guy here. So that is obviously ideal. I think it spreads the field actually more horizontally here. Getting Robinson out that can dominate the sideline, and while Cooper Kupp mainly, he dominates everywhere, but the middle of the field, I think it really spreads things out, across the field there. So this is going to be fun to watch. It's a little different for the Rams, but maybe more of a problem for defenses. So that's why it's a game-changing signing here, and was a little bit unexpected too. Another one, the Vikings picking up Zadaria Smith from their rival, the Green Bay Packers, and why this is kind of game-changing / team-changing, a big impact signing is because the Vikings are, one thing, the Vikings are switching to a 3-4, so they need a 3-4 pass rusher. They get a big-time 3-4 pass rusher in Zadaria Smith, who also is a guy that really does more than just rush off the edge. He can line in different spots on the D-line, playing almost like an inside linebacker, blitzing, doing many different things, and it's really game-changing because it opens up, for the rest of the team, guys like Danielle Hunter, and it's looking like, going into the season, the Vikings may have one of the best, if not the best, pass rush duo in football. It's just with the two of them, they got to stay healthy. But this was a big-time signing for them to fit their new scheme, to fit what they're trying to do, because they're trying to, replicate some things that what the Packers are doing when they had Smith for the better here. So that one was a big-time one. And he almost went to the Ravens, too. Ends up going to the Vikings in a huge impact addition for them. Another giant one, another pass rusher, Chandler Jones, going to go play with Max Crosby on the Raiders. Got a big contract there. This is big, too, because the Raiders are also switching schemes. They're going to a 3-4. And the Raiders were a team that were, we're going to get pressure. We're going to get pressure on the quarterback. And there's sometimes, you wish they would have got the quarterback down. They would actually hit the quarterback, got him down. And I think that's what you do when you add Chandler Jones. So it helps their new scheme, their new system on defense. And then you got Max Crosby, who is consistently getting pressure. He's also dominant, moving around a bit, stopping the run. Now you get a guy in there, Chandler Jones, who just straight up, he gets the quarterback. He gets the quarterback down. So it's a dominant pairing. It's exactly what they needed to change their defense for the better while they are changing schemes. And it's obviously because of who he is. Chandler Jones did a big impact signing as well. So it was a big one for the Raiders. I'm excited to watch that duo that's on your screen right now this season. The Bengals, Alex Cappa, this is a big one. And you could say, why not Leo Collins? And I'd say Leo Collins is probably the better signing. You look at, how big the player's name is and the contract, the value of it. Didn't have to trade from. I think that's kind of bigger when looking at value. But this one is more, game-changing, I think, because the Bengals' whole offensive line was kind of a problem for the most part. But I thought the main problem was interior pressure. It's the quickest trip to the quarterback. I thought it affected Joe Burrow, and he still played great under that pressure. But it was a big problem. They're beating the guard so fast, and they're getting after Burrow, especially in the Super Bowl, but really all year. So you had a pretty big-time guard here on a 4-year, $35 million deal, and upgrade that interior. It's huge for the Bengals. That's, again, Leo Collins, one of the best signings maybe if you look at value. They had decent play from the right tackle position for part of the year at least, but they do upgrade there big time. But again, holding down that interior and making that better will be huge. Burrow doesn't have to escape the pocket instantly. It'll happen still here and there, but as much as it did. So I thought this is a game-changing one for the Bengals here for that reason. Pretty much the same reason here at the Jets. Laken Tomlinson, Zach Wilson, who in college was good at kind of getting outside the pocket, throwing the run, but having to do it as fast early as he'd had to do last year on the Jets was a bit of a problem, because they were trying to, simplify things. Let's just play small ball. Maybe we have to do that, and it was hard for him to even make the layup throws because he's instantly got to run outside the pocket. He's got to try to throw across body, even if it's a shallow route on the other side. So adding an interior guy like Laken Tomlinson, a big-time guard, and another big piece of this is there's coaching staff, members of the coaching staff, obviously, that have coached Laken Tomlinson when he was on the 49ers, too. So that I thought was also big. So kind of a plug-and-play guy that's it's the same reason as the Bengals here. It's going to stop pretty much, really slow down, we should say, the interior pressure, which is the quickest trip to the quarterback. So big-time signing for the Jets. I like it. There's guys that already coach Laken Tomlinson there. Another one here, the Ravens signing Marcus Williams. A pretty pricey contract. It's not one of those A-plus deals when you look at value, in my opinion, but it's a big-time signing. And why this is game-changing, why this is going to be exciting to watch for the Ravens is because they're changing defense. Before it was, a lot of press man coverage. We're going to blitz. We're going to blitz a lot. We're going to put our safeties up in the box. We're going to run cover zero as much as possible. And now it's looking a little bit different. They're probably going to blitz less, and they want to get some legit coverage guys out there. You want to be able to run. When we have to switch the zone, when we play the teams that dominate man, we want to be able to run. We want to have some coverage guys in the back end. We want to be able to run zone. And Marcus Williams is that coverage-free safety with pretty good range while the ball's in the air that I'm confident can run zone or man, which they're looking for. It is basically just needed a big-time coverage-free safety, and they haven't had that. It's been some time, and they finally get that. So I think this is really game. This is big time for the Ravens because it changes things for the better. Like I said, they're able to cover better on the back end, so it really changes the defense for the better here. So that's why it's kind of a massive one, and I think people look at this one as a massive one because, hey, it's maybe one of the best safeties on the market. 5 years, $70 million. He's young, he's got upside, and true that that's why it's big. I look at it a different way. I look at it because it's changing the defense for the better. You actually got some coverage back there, so that was a huge one for the Ravens. Next, the Bills signing Von Miller. Obviously, this one had to be on the list. The Bills, arguably the best roster in football. What are they missing? Maybe getting to the quarterback a little more consistently, not making the guys in coverage cover forever. They stepped it up, I thought, last year. They got, after the quarterback a little more. But a common theme from the Bills the last few years has been get pressure on the quarterback, but can we get the quarterback down, especially in those crucial moments, it feels like third down, maybe even fourth down, right when you have them stopped. And they haven't really been able to do that consistently, even though they had some guys getting pressure, and they got young guys that are probably going to get better. But now you get a guy in here that has experience finishing and getting after getting the quarterback down in crucial impact moments, and that's Von Miller here. Massive contract, but there's a reason they brought him in. They didn't have too many needs left, so it's a big one. I'm excited to watch that. I'm excited to watch it. Something different here. All these are some of the most exciting signings, is another way to put it. The Dolphins getting big Tyron Armstead here. Number one free agent after Devonta Adams was franchise tagged. He was taken off the market. We had Armstead. I think a lot of people did number one. Dolphins been searching for that left tackle for some time now. They've been searching for good offensive linemen in general. I do think they have a couple guys that are going to get better too. But they get that left tackle, which a lot of teams have been searching for, including the Dolphins. They get that, so they give some protection on obviously the left side there. Going to give Tua some more time, and because he's got weapons, he's got more weapons now too. So you're going to be able to use those weapons. You're going to be able to get more out of Tua. You're going to be able to get more confidence out of him. You're going to be able to allow him to progress properly. So it's just such an impact move. I mean, you can see it. You think just one left tackle sticking him in there, right? Yeah, it helps the blocking on the left side, but you think that the things I just named, it impacts so many different things here, and and he's a very good run blocking tackle as well, which the Dolphins want to do. So it just impacts so many different things. So can't wait to see it. Hopefully we'll see if the whole unit might become better because of this one as well. And then J.C. Jackson, this is the 10th one. I don't really do rankings because it's not really the 10 best signings. It's big signings for different reasons on how they're going to be this exciting, how they impact teams. But yeah, I've kind of felt like keeping J.C. Jackson, saving him for last because this definitely changes the Chargers' defense for the better here. Really because their coverage. Brandon Staley coming from the Rams. What did he run with the Rams? Mainly cover 4, but some man coverage as well. And when Brandon Staley, went from defense coordinator of the Rams to the head coach of the Chargers, obviously he's running this defense. Last year they pretty much ran 2-man under, and they weren't overly successful on it. So now you bring in a guy that is a top tier man coverage guy, and you're able to continue to run 2-man under, but at a better level, and you're able to take it up a notch and run cover 1, which is man coverage, because you have this one of the better cover 1 corners in football. And then you're able to, Brandon Staley is a cover 4 guy. You're able to go cover 4. Usually, when you get a man corner, because you got quarter of the field, typically they can run cover 4. Typically they can run cover 2. And then you kind of can create some trap coverages in there as well, because if you're running cover 1 so much, which they will do when you bring a guy like J.C. Jackson, and when you run cover 1 so much, teams kind of get used to you being a man, and the corners, and you go in cover 2, and he goes up and presses, and he sticks with the receiver for a certain amount of time while the safety's kind of coming over the top. You're going to make the quarterbacks think you're in cover 1 because you're in that a lot, and you got cover 1 guys. But then, boom, you're in cover 2. The corner drops into flat, safety comes over, and then that's how you create some interceptions. So you can do so many different things with this, and not don't have a stale defense then with your coverages on repeat, and really not at that high of a level on that repeated coverage. So I think it affects the whole defense. It really can improve. It could really improve the run defense as well. Because if you're unpredictable on what you're in, I think that can make it easier all around for the defense too. So this was a huge one. I also like that, I really thought, I was fearing that he was going to get paid like $19 million around there, 18, 19, 20, which I would not pay a corner that much. Jalen Ramsey, I'd consider it, obviously, and he does get paid that much, so probably worth it for him. But then again, the guys in the draft, and they paid way less than that, so that was already a win. And I gave this one an A+ when we did all of our grades. But at the same time, I also don't like taking corners in the top 10 because they're so damn hit or miss. You get a better view on them these days. But sometimes they take a bit to develop. They're so inconsistent early on. So I guess go out and get a proven guy, and you know what type of coverages you're going to be able to run now, and you get him for a pretty good deal, cheaper than expected, a lot cheaper than expected, really. Not like it's a crazy steal, like cheap, but it's definitely less than expected. It's a good signing here. So I thought this one was huge. I'm just curious to see what Staley's going to throw at us, throw at everyone on defense. It's going to be a mixture of different things, but now they're able to run more man coverage, which a lot of teams don't really run. I think teams want to run it, but do they have against these talented quarterbacks and speedy receivers these days, you got to have the right personnel to actually run it, So this also could be more blitzing too. That could mean more blitzing as well. Different ways to get pressure, perhaps. So that it's a defense that's probably going to confuse some offenses a little bit. So I'm excited to see it. So these are some big time. I was trying to come up how to explain this video. It's not like the best value signing, it's just most impact, game changing for these teams, and just what we're most excited about. I tried to keep it to players going to new teams as well. Didn't really want the boring, re-signings, even though there's some good ones, good signings out there that were re-signings. But that'll wrap it up for this one. Let me know in the comments. Let's see which signings you're most excited about down there. We're always talking with you guys on our Twitter. Always talking live updates, rumors, thoughts, more. And we got draft content right around the corner. I'm really excited about that. Recent mock draft up that went up yesterday, actually. So check it out. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. It's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.